Hi guys, Kevin here. What I'd like to do in this video is talk about something that has been discussed a lot of time over the years on the internet, but I think it still goes on today. I think that there is a bias in the media, a heavy bias towards Apple products. And this is something that, I kind of forget about it sometimes, but then there's always reviews and articles that come up, and it just reminds me about how biased reviews are online and things like that. And when I talk about the media, I'm talking about news websites, New York Times, BBC, Guardian, that kind of thing. And I'm also talking about tech review websites, CNET, The Verge, trusted reviews in the UK, and all that kind of thing. Apple products are always given what I think are more favourable reviews than what they should be. Now, a prime example of this is this article here. This was written by David Carnoy. It was published yesterday, on the 13th. Of March. Yep, today's the 14th. And the article is entitled Samsung Galaxy S7's One Flaw, It Still Runs Android. Now, the writer makes no qualms about the fact that he's a big Apple fan, and by and large, this is a clickbait article. If anyone is involved in blogging or marketing knows what a clickbait article is, it's basically where someone will purposely cause controversy or use a title that will make people click and then comment, and then it gets lost of shares and things like that. So in that respect, it's been successful because I am talking about it. But this is not just opinion of him. I think there's a lot of reviewers that feel this way, and even when they're not open about it, when they're not, he's fair play to him. He's come out and said, I love iOS, I love Apple products. But I think that there's a lot of people that aren't so open about the fact that they're biased. And you know what, you can see here, I've got an iMac, I've got a 27-inch iMac, but the laptop always uses Windows. So I switch between Windows and Apple's OS X on pretty much a daily basis. Sometimes I'll use the laptop at night. I'm using this just now for my main, for working on the internet, but later on today I'll be using my laptop on Windows. I don't think there's a huge amount of difference between the two systems, to be honest, and the main reason I would side with Windows is because it's cheaper. That's it. Every program I use online for the iMac, I make sure it works on Windows as well. So whether it's FileZilla for uploading files, Photoshop, I use Premiere Pro for editing videos. Everything I use is cross-platform. And you can see here I use an Android phone, but that wasn't always the case. I had an Apple iPhone 4 in the past, used it for 2 years. I remember buying it brand new out the Apple shop, and I loved it. It was one of my favourite phones of all time. I absolutely loved it. And then I bought an Android phone, went back to Android, and I've had friends, I've lost my friends, etc., and family that they've purchased iPhones, they've used iPhones, and I've used them as well. And I think we've come to the point, from a usability point of view, where I honestly don't think there's a huge amount of difference between the two systems, but between the two platforms as far as iOS and Android. It's really just slight differences. iOS has taken a lot of things from Android, and Android's taking some things from iOS. They've really converged into a really similar platform. I even used the Windows phone for 6 months, and I loved it. I thought it was a great little phone that I had. It was a little HTC Windows phone. But because, I don't care about this. I don't care about the whole Apple fanboy, Android fanboy. If something works, I like it. If it doesn't work, then I don't like it. If something is bad, I'll say it, Like the Google Nexus 6P, I think it's an absolutely fantastic phone, but there's no doubt that the camera isn't as good as the Apple iPhone 6S. It's not as good as the Samsung S6. It's good in low light, but I can recognise where it excels and where it doesn't. But when you look at these reviews, especially when I've used the device that they're referring to, I can't help but seeing how biased these reviews are for Apple. Now, I'll give you an example. That one example would be battery life. Now, anyone who owned an Apple 5 or 5S, and even the smaller, the 4.7-inch 6 and 6S, these phones have got terrible battery life, really, really bad. I mean, the Apple 5 had, a 50 milliamp battery life, and they say that it optimised it and things, but it wasn't. I've got a friend that's got the 5S just now. I do appreciate it's an older phone, but he says it gets to like dinner time and it's dead, and it gets to 25% and then it goes down to 0. These phones weren't built with big batteries. This one's got a mega battery that lasts 2 days. Now, I'm someone, it's if your battery, if the battery doesn't work, if the battery doesn't last, then what have you got? You've got nothing. You've got a dead weight. You've got a paperweight. I'm not sure why these reviewers though don't focus on the negatives as much as they should when it comes to Apple products. I've seen like I'll give an example, like taking the battery life thing for an example. There's times when I've read reviews and they've said the battery life could be better, right? It's worded in a positive way, and then they'll say things like, but it's not a big thing. You can buy a case that has a battery on it and put it on, or you can buy a little power bank and take it with you at all times. That is true, and that is what you kind of have to do with those phones, but why is it not more of a negative? Why is it still getting higher reviews? And why, when an equivalent Android phone has some perceived flaw or inaccuracy, why is that one emphasised? Why is the flaw like, oh, well, it doesn't have this? And they keep going on about that being so negative. I don't know, it just seems more apparent to me because I honestly don't care. If the iPhone 7 comes out and it's absolutely amazing, I'll sell this and I'll buy the iPhone 7. I honestly don't care who produces the phone that I'm using. I just want it to work. It just, when you're reading these reviews though, you sometimes have to read between the lines and realise that the person writing this, I think they're a little bit biased, and they might not even acknowledge the fact they're being biased, but I guess if you're using an iPhone on a daily basis, you're used to how the Apple mobile platform works, so that if you know how it works, you know how to get the most of it, and then when you get a different device, they're like, it doesn't work, and they just seem unhappy about it. I think anyone who works in the industry, the tech industry, where you're reviewing tech products on a regular basis, I'm not talking about things like the BBC and that, they'll probably get someone who's just busy and doing something else. They go, go and review that phone, you've got an iPhone, oh yeah, okay. I'm talking about people who are passionate about tech. If you're passionate about tech, you need to be open about about the products that you're reviewing. You really need to be open about it and not be biased. But that's just me. I think there is a bias for it, and I think there always will be. And there's always going to be debates online about this. PS4 versus Xbox One, that kind of thing. We had it with 360 versus PS3. The fact is, from a gaming point of view, it really comes down to what controller you like and whether there's any exclusive games that you like in the system. But that doesn't stop certain people giving more biased reviews. And obviously, if you use a product and you love it, you're going to give it a more positive review. But I think there is a bias. Without a doubt, there is a bias. I mean, surely even Apple users can tell that there's a bias towards Apple products. I'm someone who uses Apple, and I know that there's a bias towards Apple products. And like, taking this for example, the iMac, I've loved this. This has been one of the best purchases I've ever had. Would I buy it again? I don't know, because I don't think it was worth the premium that I paid. I think an equivalent, I could have bought a 30-inch screen and just got a really good PC. But I think that's because over the years Windows has been refined as well, so the whole Windows versus OS X debate as well is a little bit different than it used to be. But it was different when back then, Macs are using Intel and Pentiums and things like that as products. So they've got Pentium CPUs in it, so really it's just the software now, and OS X really is just a big, heavily modded version of Unix or Linux or something like that. Anyway, I'm going off topic here, but anyway, the topic is Apple products. They get a lot of positive reviews online. I'm not disputing these, that Apple produce great phones, they do. I think that when it comes to technology in the mobile platform anyway, you've got companies like LG and Sony and HTC. They're pushing the boundary of what you can do with phones. I don't think Apple are really refining, driving anything. They're not driving technology forward with the iPhone. What they are doing, what Apple have always been good at, is refining products. That's what they're excellent at, but they don't take any risks. But still, there's still flaws. Even though they're great at refining products, there's still flaws in the products, and battery life is the number one example. There's other things as well. I was an Apple user for years with my mobile phones, so I do realise there's pros and cons. And honestly, I could switch between an Apple phone and an Android phone on a daily basis. I don't think there's a big difference. But when you read these reviews, they make them out as if the Apple operating system is miles ahead of Android. And anyone who uses Android and uses iOS and is familiar with both interfaces will know that there's not that much of a difference. Not really. When you break it down, using your phone on a daily basis, most popular apps are on both platforms. It's very rare that you'll get a software application that's only on one or the other. I mean, there are some things that you can only get on Apple or only get on Android, but by and large, every major developer will release on both platforms, and I think that's why when you're open about this and you think, again, you need to be open about tech, it becomes more obvious that Apple products are so biased when it comes to reviews. I've said that backwards there, but you know what I'm saying. So I don't think this is going to change. I don't think this is going to change over the next year or two. I think it's always going to be the case, but if you're out there though and you're looking at reviews, just bear in mind that if a website such as The Verge or CNET or things like that, if they're heavily promoting Apple products as being the best things, you know, if they're putting at the top of their product list as getting like 8.8 and 9 ratings, and Android equivalent phones are not getting as high a rating, just take those reviews with a pinch of salt. I do think that you need to acknowledge the fact that the media, all these reviewers online, on YouTube as well, there's a heavy bias towards Apple products. And I think people should be more open about the fact that you can get some absolute bargains elsewhere, you know. You can pick up the Sony Compact Z3, which is still a fantastic little phone. You can pick up for like £150 in the UK. And to get an equivalent like iPhone, you'd be talking like £450. Is it worth paying that premium? I don't think so personally, but that's just what you know, the public. There's always been this public kind of perception that Apple products are worth the premium. But if you look at the phones that are coming out from other companies, there's some sexy phones coming out from, you know, Sony and HTC and LG and all that. I'm going off topic here a little bit, but I do think if you go back and you look at reviews online, if you go back even a few years and you look at the reviews of the iPhone 4 and 5 and things, there wasn't really any criticism about the battery life, not to the extent that it should have been. You know, I used to have the iPhone 4 and it would just, you know, I'd work all day and then, you know, come 6 o'clock, it would be like 20% or something, and I'd have to charge it. Why was this not really heavily noted in reviews? Why was that not a negative point? I don't know. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear whether you think I'm right on this subject, whether the media, whether blogs and tech reviewers and YouTubers, do you think they're all biased towards Apple products? Do you think that they're not giving Android a fair chance? Do you not think they're giving Windows a fair chance? Do you believe in the cult of Mac, the cult of Apple, where Apple products are always the best and it's worth paying 50 to 100% more for equivalent products? I'd love to hear what you think about this. It's not a topic that's going to go anywhere. It's something that I think we're going to be talking about for years, because people who have Apple products love them, and a lot of the time those people are the people reviewing products, so I don't think the bias is going to go away. I'd love to hear what you think about this anyway. Please do leave a comment below in the comment area, and please subscribe or like the video if you enjoyed it. Till next time guys, take care, and please do check out this article. I'll link below in the comment area, in the description, sorry. Samsung Galaxy's S7's one flaw. So I'll let you check out that article for yourself and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Thanks for watching guys. Till next time, take care.